This is Amy, Bear Paw Piper, with Standing Rooted. We're going to take a walk right into the center of your healing heart, where the healing presence resides. Let's start out with a deep, comfortable breath. And then just bring attention to yourself, to your body, and to your mind. Notice what's happening inside of you. Notice what's happening around you. We're part of the world. We're not separate from it. And so we're just going to let ourselves observe and be part of the movements around us. And then let's bring attention to your inner world. So first of all, let's pay attention to your thoughts. Notice whether your thoughts seem very busy. Sometimes it seems like there's a lot of thoughts. Sometimes they seem to be moving very rapidly, or sometimes more slowly. Sometimes we have one central thought, something that's really on our minds, and it might be demanding our attention, wanting us to think about it or figure something out. And if so, we don't have to stop that from happening. We're just noticing that that's the case in this moment. That our thoughts are trying to take our attention over. That they want us to focus on them. So take another deep, comfortable breath. And then let attention go to your emotions. The emotions also can sometimes be busy or demanding. But sometimes emotions are just content to drift by like clouds on a summer day. They don't even require our attention. They're just there. They're like clear emotional energy, just flowing gently through your system. And that can actually be very nourishing for both the body and the mind. So now let's bring attention to your senses. This is the interface between yourself, your inner life, and the world around you. So you might start by noticing what you hear. Some sounds might be very close or loud, and others are far away. You might hear a dog barking in the distance, or a plane. Of course, you hear the sound of my voice. And then notice what you see. If your eyes are closed, you might just see darkness. Or perhaps you see colors and patterns. Perhaps they're shifting around. And then notice what you smell and what you taste. Sometimes we don't really seem to smell or taste anything. And it's almost like a sort of silence. A silence of taste or a silence of smell. And then you can even bring your attention to space. So imagine that your attention is resting on the space around you. Just being aware of open space. So you're focusing not on things, but on the space between yourself and the things around you. It's a spaciousness. And you might even be aware that when we take a moment to focus on spaciousness, that there's more space in our world than there are objects. We just don't always pay attention to space itself. So let's bring awareness now to the body. First, you might just scan and see what you notice. There might be some pain or discomfort. There might be parts of the body that are just sort of neutral, not really tense or hurting at all, just sort of there. And you might notice that you're actually numb in some parts of your body, like you wouldn't even notice that part of your body. You can't even feel it. And again, we're not trying to fix anything. We're really just noticing what is in this moment. We're coming into relationship with the present moment. Just being here now. So you also might notice that there's an energy that flows through your body. It's just flowing, not doing anything specific. It might even create a gentle, pleasurable sensation. I like to take attention to my feet and feel the sensation of the ground underneath them. I'm feeling the earth supporting my body. Even if I'm standing on a floor, I know that the earth is underneath there. Whether it's directly underneath or several stories down, the earth is supporting my body. And when I remember that, I can feel the connection with earth. You might be able to feel the earth's rhythm. But even if you're not able to feel it, just know that you are attuning with her rhythms, that she's holding you. So you might notice how your body is always in the present moment. Your body's never thinking about the past or the future. The mind will spiral out of this moment. It'll think about the future. It'll worry about the past. But the body is always present in the here and now. So when we bring attention to the body, it helps our mind to focus on now. And this moment is the only place that we truly have power. We can't change the past, and we can only impact the future by what we do and don't do, what we choose in this moment. The now is where our power resides. So maybe you're noticing your body and mind sort of slowing down a little bit. It's gearing down a little. If you were in fifth gear in the beginning of our time together, you might be in third gear now. Maybe you're finding yourself shifting all the way down to first gear, or even neutral. So if that's so, just notice. Sometimes you might notice instead that a sense of anxiety is rising. That's not because your anxiety is actually increasing, but because you are starting to slow down and bring attention inside, so that the anxiety has come to the forefront of your attention. If that's so, just notice that it's so. You can notice how it might make you uncomfortable in the moment, and know that it may begin to shift soon. Just take a deep, comfortable breath. And just imagine that you're breathing right into the center of your chest. This is where your heart center resides. You can even put your hand on your chest if you wish, so that you can feel it, as if you're breathing into your hand on your chest. Feeling your chest rise and fall. Now let your mind move to something that might be troubling you. Maybe it's just something you'd like to be a little different. Maybe it's something that is really causing a lot of distress. It might be something about relationships. It might relate to your health, your work, or be about your inner life. And so, as your attention goes to this challenge, let yourself breathe again, just a deep, comfortable breath, right into the center of your heart. And perhaps it would be wise for practice to choose something that's simple, not something too overwhelming, just for today. So you might notice emotions and thoughts wanting to rise in response to the problem. And so just watch that. How do you relate to those thoughts and emotions? Perhaps you don't like them. Perhaps they're thoughts that trouble you, emotions that are uncomfortable. And if that's so, we're just noticing that again. We're not trying to change anything just right now. We're coming into relationship with the challenge as it is in this moment, and coming into relationship with it in a new way that may paradoxically bring unexpected change or understanding. So now, again, you might want to put your hand on your chest. And let yourself just breathe. Imagine that you're breathing right into the center of your chest, into your heart system. And you're just comfortably breathing into that space, that spaciousness. Because the heart center is infinite. It has a great spaciousness that can hold, that can contain all of our experiences. Sometimes it seems like our feelings are bigger than us. And so when we bring our attention to the heart center, we might have an experience of great spaciousness and that there really is room for everything. Now, this breathing into your heart center, it begins to activate your heart intelligence. And you may or may not notice anything specific as that happens. It's not important that you notice anything. But just know that your heart's intelligence is being activated. And the heart intelligence is connected to what we think of as the higher wisdom or the divine. The heart intelligence is what can process emotion. Sometimes we try to process emotions by thinking about them, by thinking about the problem. And thoughts are very helpful. But the mind cannot process emotion. It's not built to do that. It's like trying to use a hammer to screw in a screw. You're going to make a big mess. It's not going to be successful at what you're trying to do. So it's just good to know which tool we want to use for which purpose. So just like your digestive system is what is used to process the food that you eat, and the mind is what we use to process the thoughts that we have, the heart system, the heart intelligence, is what is effective at processing emotion. And just like when we process food, the body receives all the nutrients of that food and distributes it in the proper way to support our body, our health, and our well-being, our energy. And it separates out the toxins, the aspects that are not healthy for us, that are not productive or nourishing. And then those toxins move out of the body naturally. And the heart system creates exactly that situation for our emotional lives. It brings what's nourishing into our body-mind and begins to move the toxicity out so that it doesn't poison us. That doesn't mean that all emotions are comfortable. Some emotions are more enjoyable than others, just like some foods are. But we can always use the heart system, the heart intelligence, to separate what's nourishing from what's toxic. So again, let's just breathe right into the chest, right into the center of your chest. And see if you remember something that really calls forward a sense of joy, of peace, of happiness, of gratitude. It might have been someone who's always been very kind to you, very supportive. It might be your relationship with a favorite pet. It might be a place that you love to be, like walking along the beach with your feet in the sand and the salt air, wind in your hair. It might be just snuggling in your favorite chair, in your favorite jammies, at home in front of the hearth. perhaps with the people you love the most, or just on your own with a good book. It might even be what we think of as a divine being that you feel close to. And as you breathe comfortably and gently, right into the center of your chest, just imagine being in that place or with that person, in that situation. And notice how it feels to be there. What sensations do you have? What are your emotions like here? What's the quality of your thoughts? Are they peaceful, vibrant, easy thoughts? Inspired thoughts? Notice what it's like here. And let that become very vivid. And just breathe in that experience. Just breathe that experience right into the center of your heart system. And if you have trouble accessing a safe, connected, wonderful memory, don't worry. As time goes by and healing takes place for you, you'll begin to experience more safe, connected, wonderful times that you can use and remember. Now, as you soak in this experience, remember the problem that you brought with you here, something that's been bothering you. And imagine that that problem, you don't have to put a lot of attention on it, but just imagine that it's also soaking here in this heart field that you're creating. There's nothing to do. Your problem might even have, it might be an image, like if you think of it as a hard stone, or perhaps another image arises for you that kind of represents the problem, and you just imagine that stone or other image that's just resting in the heart field. And consider that your heart field is digesting that stone. It's digesting the worry. It's digesting the hard feelings. It's digesting the situation for you. Anything that's nourishing or important will just assimilate into your body-mind, just like your digestive system does with food. Anything that's toxic about the problem will begin to dissolve and can start to pass out of your body and your energy field. You don't have to do anything. Just imagine that it might be possible and it might be effortless. Sometimes we think of the heart as a weak or vulnerable thing, maybe because we've been hurt in the past, emotionally hurt. But the heart system is actually a very, very powerful instrument. It generates the strongest electromagnetic field in the body. It has tremendous influence over our brains. That electromagnetic field it generates has a tremendous influence over our own experience and over the people around us. And it has access to all divine qualities that we might need, such as strength, compassion, wisdom, and power. So let's bring attention back to the center of your chest again. Just let yourself continue to breathe gently into that area. Remember the person or the place or the being who makes you feel safe and connected. Just let yourself float. Be wherever you are. You might notice feelings or thoughts, concerns or worries about the past or future. You might get distracted by sounds around you or thoughts about other people. And that's fine. It's just how our minds work. We don't have to fix that or change it. Just let your attention come back to the moment, to the center of your chest. There's no agenda. There's nothing to do. Divine healing is present for you through this activated heart field. Higher wisdom and knowledge are being activated. And you might notice those things coming to your attention in our time together, or they may come to your attention in the next hours or days. So just continue to breathe into your heart center. Knowing that the problem is being digested, that nourishment is coming to you, and toxicity is moving out. I hope that you found something really valuable in our time together. I wish you all happiness and healing for you and to those you love. This is Amy Bearpaw Piper with Standing Rooted.